Hello and welcome to Xinhua Live. This is Yuchao in Wuhan, the capital city of central China's Hubei province. And now we are at the Chenhu Lake Wetland Nature Reserve, the only internationally important wetland in Wuhan and also one of the 64 internationally important wetlands in China. Okay, and let's enjoy the fantastic view here. The 14th meeting of the Conference of the Contracting Parties to the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands, or COP14, is held from November the 5th to 13th in Wuhan, and Chenhu is one of the visiting sites of the sideline events of the meeting. Holding the event in Wuhan showed the international community's recognition of the efforts and achievements that China and especially Wuhan have made in wetland protection. So, why does wetland matter? A wetland is a land area that is permanently or seasonally saturated with water of unique soil conditions that enable a wide range of animals and vegetation to grow. It is safe to say that wetlands are the most biologically diverse of all ecosystems. And here we come to a crossroad. Behind me we can see a sign, and over there later we can see there are wetland plank road and bird watching tower as well as a wood path. And on this way later we can see a small and micro wetland, a bird watching corridor as well as Qihao bird watching station. And on our way to the wetland plank road, I'd like to talk more about the wetlands. Wetlands are also one of the world's three major ecosystems with forests and oceans, which perform vital functions, including water storage, water purification, flood control, climate regulation, and biodiversity maintenance. Therefore, wetlands are usually called the kidney of Earth, carbon reservoir, and gene pool of species. And since the COP14 is underway in Wuhan, let's talk more about the Ramsar Convention and China. China joined the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands in 1992. This year marks the 30th anniversary of China's accession to the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands. And the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands, also known as the Convention on Wetlands, is an intergovernmental treaty that provides the framework for national action and international cooperation for the conservation and wise use of wetlands and their resources. And it is the first intergovernmental multilateral environment treaty in the world. Since the adoption of the convention in 1971, 172 countries have joined, committing to the conservation and wise use of all wetlands through local and national actions and international cooperation as a contribution towards achieving sustainable development throughout the world. And over the 50 years of its existence, the Convention's definition has been extended from the protection of waterfowl habitats and migratory water birds to include whole wetland ecosystems and their functions. And the Secretariat, based in Switzerland, carry out the day-to-day coordination of the Convention's activities. Along the way to sightseeing, we can also see here some of the interactive installation here, and on it we can see there are patterns of different kinds of birds, and These are quite interesting. We can enjoy the beautiful view there and also learn more about birds. And here we can see the logos, all creatures gathering together, new discovery of birds. And behind the sign is the wetland plank road. We can step in it and experience the wide wetland landscape. And located in the southwest of Caidian district of Wuhan, Chenhu Lake Wetland Nature Reserve covers an area of 116 square kilometers, and it is known as the only typical freshwater lake and marsh wetland among the lake groups of the same latitude on Earth, as well as one of wetlands which boasts of many rare wintering waterfowl populations in China. And supporting a large number of biodiversity, the wetland is honored as the genetic bank of wetland birds. And in 1913, it was assigned as Wetlands of International Importance by Chinese State Forestry Administration and Ramsar Secretariat. And in recent years, Caidian district has invested about 72 million yuan, or about $10 million to protect and restore Chenhu Lake Wetland Nature Reserve. It has built the first intelligent wetland monitoring system in Wuhan and paved 890-meter patrol plank road, one patrol wharf, and one bird watching house. And behind me is a bird watching tower, and later we will ascend to the tower and get an overview of the Chenhu Lake Wetland Nature Reserve. On the birdwatching tower here, they also equipped with some telescopes, and we can watch birds from here. Wow, so many birds. I can't name them, but I've been told by the staff working here that since this spring, they have spotted some locally rare birds, including white cranes, greater flamingos, and Chinese merganser. And they have used their lens to document their appearance and behaviors. And the data show that over 20,000 migratory birds have been observed in the 11,579 hectare nature reserve this summer. And the reserve has rich species of wild animals and plants. According to statistics, 277 species of birds can be found in the Chenhu Lake Wetland Nature Reserve, including 64 species of birds under National Key Protection, 14 species under First-Class Protection, and 50 species under Second-Class Protection, among which more than 100,000 migratory birds migrate, rest, breed, or overwinter here every year. But the number of birds around Chenhu Lake once declined drastically due to damage to the ecosystem. The trend reversed after the municipal government of Wuhan passed a slew of legislation and policies to protect wetlands in the 2000s. and the decades-long efforts has benefited the nature reserve, helping it draw back various kinds of migratory birds. The district has also recovered 1,400 hectares of degraded wetlands and 110 hectares of wetland vegetation, and supplemented 25.51 hectares of food resources. The COP14 is now underway in Wuhan. In June this year, Wuhan was awarded the Wetland City accreditation. And Wuhan, which sits at the confluence of the Yangtze River and its longest tributary, the Han River, boasts about 1,624 square kilometers of wetlands. As one of the megacities with the richest inland wetland resources, Wuhan boasts 165 rivers and 166 lakes, with a total wetland area of 1,624 square kilometers, accounting for 18.9% of the city's land area. Therefore, Wuhan is widely known as a city of rivers and lakes. With a protection rate of 53.19%, Wuhan's wetlands have become key ecological players, supporting the sustainable development of the city with a population over 12 million. And wetlands in Wuhan are diverse and widely distributed, including natural wetlands such as rivers, lakes, and marshes, and constructed wetlands such as reservoirs. China features wide distribution, large area, and rich types of wetlands, covering almost all wetland types in the conventional wetlands, from cold temperature zone to tropics, and from plains to highlands. About 800,000 hectares of wetlands have been added and restored over the past 10 years. And life thrives in China's wetlands. With 4% of the world's wetlands, China meets the needs of 1/5 of the world's population for wetlands production, living, ecology and culture, providing strong support for ecological protection and sustainable economic and social development, and making an important contribution to the protection and rational use of global wetlands. Official data show that China has made relentless efforts in wetland protection and restoration and witnessed remarkable progress over the past 3 decades. China now boasts 56.35 million hectares of wetland, including marshes, beaches, and lakes. That's according to the latest Land Resources Service. And the country also has 64 wetlands of international importance and 29 wetlands of national importance, as well as 901 national wetland parks. And this year marks the 30th anniversary of China joining the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands. According to the National Forestry and Grassland Administration, over the past 30 years, China has strived to practice the concepts of sustainable development and ecological civilization, and work hard to promote the protection and restoration of wetlands. Since 2003, the central government has spent 19.8 billion yuan, or about $2.73 billion, on over 4,100 projects to advance wetlands protection and restoration across the country. In June this year, China's new law on wetland protection took effect, making a new stage of law-based wetlands conservation in the country. And last month, China also released a plan for wetland protection for the 2022 to 2030 period, aiming to increase its wetland protection rate to 55% by 2025, while increasing the number of wetlands of international importance and national importance by 20 and 50 respectively. And by 2030, China is expected to have significantly improved ecosystem functioning and biodiversity of wetlands, and to have become a key participant, contributor, and leader in global wetland protection and restoration. Wuhan is just one example showing China's efforts in wetland conservation. The country has made steady progress in wetland conservation over the past decades, with an improving wetland ecosystem, the establishment of wetland nature reserve, and the new law on wetland protection, all for pursuing a harmonious coexistence between humanity and nature. And that's all for today's live report. Thank you for watching and wish to see you next time.